I welcome everyone to my channel, and in this video I will tell you about the new free games in Steam, about the new distribution in Epic Games. I will also tell you about the games that you can now pick up for free on other sites, and I will tell you a little more about the most favorable discounts in the incentive, game news, so watch this video be sure to the end so as not to miss anything. But I wish you a pleasant viewing and we begin. So, let's start today with Steam, namely with this game. This game is called It From Jazz from the History of Horror game. This is a post-apocalyptic survival horror game in which there are good screamers, and most importantly the plot in a free game. In it, in the course of the game, go out through pretty creep buildings in search of an antidote, because you are infected and during the whole game you turn into one of those from whom you will run away the whole game. The game looks really cool and I strongly advise you to try to play this game. Maybe I'll like it and you'll stick to me for a couple of evenings. Okay, let's move on to the next game. And the next game is called ANDARA, and this is a crazy third-person shooter in which you will play as Rain Tyrant. Tap into the enemy's weaknesses and move fast in a short but interesting storyline game for one player. The game looks very nice and good, and I answer you for sure, it deserves your attention. So if you are looking for something to play for free, then here's another toy for you to note. The next game I personally really liked, it's called Fishing, which translates as fishing. Well, it's not really fishing. It's a chaotic fishman shooter in which you feed your intelligent weapons with random upgrades to defeat hordes of evil fruits. Yes, it sounds very strange, the gameplay that you see now is no less strange, but the game is a driving action and I advise you to try to play it. She's really very funny. Unfortunately, she doesn't have an online, but it's clean to go into solo, run around, kill fruit from her fish. Well, why not? It sounds absurd, but fun. And if you like this game, then I have already left a link to it in the description under this video. So, and the next game is called Shire. This is a multiplayer shooter in the arena with sniper muskets, as well as swords, and the most important thing here is the smooth mechanics of movement, and the game is really very pleasant to play. She doesn't have a demanding and rather pleasant schedule. Well, your goal in the game will be to kill everyone you see and rise in the standings. It's pretty simple, but the game is very interesting and that's why I decided to tell you about it, and if you liked it, then you can already find a link to it in the description under this video. So, and the next incredibly atmospheric game is called, and this is a horror game in which an ancient island beckons the player with its open world. You will have to find your missing daughter while avoiding dangerous ghostly creatures. Restore electricity on the island to gain access to the laboratory, and it is located in the depths of the island, where you will learn the fate of your missing daughter. The game is made in such pleasant purple tones and even the gameplay is very pleasant to play, so I advise you to try it. Well, we went to the next game. And the next game is called. It's a very so-so game, so I won't linger on it for long. In it, you will just drive a car on different tracks, and the longer you hold out without crashing into anything, the more experience you will have, which you can then exchange for improving your car or character. By the way, and the character you have here is a goose. This is probably the only thing that is original in this game, but it also goes without problems on weak PCs, so if you have a weak PC and you didn't know what you can play for free, then here's one toy for you to note. By the way, we will not go far away from weak PCs. If that game was not quite well known, then more than 4,000 people have already played it and even left their reviews. It is called WWII Online, and in it you can play as an ordinary soldier, tankman, pilot or just infantry in World War II. This is a fairly realistic simulator, if you do not take into account the graphics, where there is a single large and permanent wargame map controlled by all players who play it 24/7 in real time. That is, at whatever moment you go in, people will play there, for whom this whole huge map is the actions of the Second World War. This is the main feature of this game. It is quite pleasant and will go to weak PCs without any problems at all, so if you are interested in it, I advise you to throw this video to your friends also weak PCs and go play this game tonight. Perhaps you will even like it and you will stick in it for a long time. So, and the summer sale is still going on and it will last until the 13th of July, and let me quickly tell you about the most profitable discounts that you can take on it now. Okay, but we don't stay long on the Steam and go to Epic Games. Only one game called GRIME is currently being distributed in Epic Games. This is a merciless adventure role-playing action game where you have to arm yourself with mutating weapons, crush enemies, and absorb their remains with a black hole to strengthen your health and receptacle. The game is quite mystical, beautiful, but simple. But still, pick it up at a 100% discount in Epic Games, why not? It will definitely not be superfluous in our library, so we collect and rejoice in another game in our library, in which we will never play again. Okay, again we move on to the next site called Itch.io. And this week I want to show you just 4 cool horror movies that I found on this site. First, you will play as Ned Flanders, who will, well, kill all those he dislikes or those who have been bothering him all the time. I don't know, it's shorter here, I don't know. Block me this one in rank, but if it doesn't block me for this, then I hope I do too. In short, it's not exactly a default horror, many people may like it, I don't know guys, I don't want to make psychos out of you. Well, in short, who liked this game, I will leave a link to it in the description. In the next game you will just sit in your house, McDonald's will call you and then some purple goo will run after you. I don't know what kind of goo I am. Well, the game appeared this week, it looks cool, don't you agree? And if you liked it, then you can also find a link to it in the description. The next game is also a horror and in some ways it is similar to Sparky Brand, a free game is also in the Steam. If you don't know what kind of game it is, you can watch my previous videos. Well, in short, it doesn't matter. It looks very good, the gameplay is very pleasant, so I advise you to try to play it. Well, the last one, not exactly horror, but, in short, a game that puts pressure on the player of its atmosphere. Of course, it's not very pleasant to play it, but in it you will play from ordinary office plankton and, perhaps, catch depression when you play it. In short, this is where our video comes to an end. Look for even more freebies in our Telegram channel, as well as game news, the most favorable discounts and many more things that I don't show here on YouTube. In short, you can find a link to it in the description under this video. Come on in, we have fun.